I'm just about to start on a new project, and this one is of a painted buntings. Beautiful bird, as you can see there, look. And I've got to try and, well, replicate these very bright colours, haven't I? So I thought I would film a bright and colourful watercolour mixing tutorial for you at the same time. Let's get started. Let's start with a purpley red colour for the bird's tail. And there's the tail in question. I've already dropped some yellowy green in there. But to get this colour I'm thinking about, okay, I've got Scarlet Lake, I've got all sorts of colours here, so if I can just lay that somewhere flat, probably around there maybe, so you can just see that there. See my paper? Yeah, okay. So we'll go for a little bit of Scarlet Lake, and this is how I kind of determine the colour that I want, just by comparing that to the reference photograph again. And I was thinking about, well, maybe I could use a little bit of alizarin crimson in there instead. And alizarin crimson is quite a nice rich colour, it really is. But that's a little bit too, I don't know, it's not quite bright enough the way that I want it at the moment. I may use some of that later on within the painting. But that's for the kind of variations in tone around this tail as well. So I thought, well, I also need to think about the purple. So I could try a little bit of mauve, okay. So some mauve there. I can try a little bit of that on one side. Yeah, not bad. Bit too purpley. Or I could try a little bit of ultramarine violet in the other side. Bit more purple. There you go. That's better. And that's not bad. So you can see that's quite close. Both of these two colour mixes with the Scarlet Lake, forget the alizarin crimson, are very close to that colour there. And remember, all you've got to do is just offer it up to the reference photograph and compare that colour there. They're pretty close. But I also decided to have a look at the Purple Lake, which is that one there. I thought we'll try that one as well. And they're all very similar, aren't they? They're all very similar colours. And that one I prefer, just a slight variation of that. So that's the tail colour sorted. Now let's look at mixing up a nice blue for the head. Now the head, as we know, is blue. So French ultramarine, as we know, and the Purple Lake. Oh, see, that's too purple. Too purple. Some more French ultramarine. Okay, and remember this is for the back of the head as well as any other blue areas for now. And we can do variations of these two mixes between French ultramarine and Purple Lake depending on the area in question. It really is. So when you've got a colour mixed up, remember to get the scrap paper and just test out that colour. Is it about right? Is it too dark? Is it too blue? You know, do we need some other colour within there? This is it. Now the back of the head, I'm looking at this colour here, which is that, if you remember, cerulean blue. So again, reactivate that paint. It's a good thing about paint, watercolour, is that you can just reuse it, can't you? You know, the amount of times I've let it dry within my palette and come back to it the next day and then reuse the same mix. I mean, yes, when you re-wet it, it's going to weaken that mix down. But it's just a good way of kind of, I don't know, economising with paints really. So this is that cerulean blue, and I'm looking at something possibly like that there when you compare that to the reference photograph. So we'll probably use cerulean blue first of all on a wet head, okay? And then we'll drop in some of this colour over the top, which if you remember was that French ultramarine and Purple Lake. Got the idea? Yeah. Just make sure that the washes for this foundation layer are nice and watery. Something like that there. Alright, let's do it. So you ready for this? So cerulean blue first of all. I'm going to drop this into the back of the head. And work our way over. And then all the way down to the rest of that area there as well, okay? So just dabbing this in as you can see here. Just dabbing it in. It is fun to use really bright colours like these, you know, really kind of vivid colours. That's lovely, isn't it? Really is nice. And then just around where the yellow goes, it's going to turn green on the edge of that, but that's okay. So I want to work out the colours for the mid-tones. Now, these are the mid-tones here, as you can see. Now, I've already got the blue mixed up in my mixing palette here. This is the colour I've got, which I think is about right. Just something like that there. Now you can just see that's not far off, is it, on the colour? But I want to get that deeper tone, don't I? So I'm going to do that. So I can try phthalo blue, but we know that's still too blue. So we'll try a little bit of purple. We'll try mauve, first of all. Pop some mauve over there. Now that's already changed it to something very similar to that, isn't it? It's quite similar indeed. That's quite nice, actually. So that'll be mauve. But the thing is, you've got to think about the consistency of the paint as well. And I know that if I try ultramarine violet, which is that one there, and a little bit of, let's say, phthalo blue, see, that's lovely, isn't it? And that's not far off as well. A bit more phthalo blue, something like that. Now I've got to thicken this down, so I can try phthalo blue and a little bit. Let's try some thicker phthalo blue this time. That's really, really thick. Come on, you. Thank you. Behave yourself. I'm running out of space here. Look, my fingertips are on the very edge. And I'll try a little bit of purple lake. Any purple should do it, really, within reason. And that there is perfect for those deeper tones. It really is, isn't it? So really close to those deep tones in there. But you've got to remember, without getting paint on your fingers, that this colour is going to be for those really dark tones. Try a little bit more of the purple lake in that one. And each one of these would work quite well, as you can see. So any of those would work really well for those deeper tones. And I'm going to mix this more now to a kind of milky consistency, which is more or less what it is at the moment. When I've got this layer of detail on, then I'll do the same mix again, but more to a creamy consistency, and that'll be even richer in colour as well, won't it? Okay, but so far so good. I've got the head and the chest done of this very nice looking bird, but I want to do the back of the tail. I want to try and work out the colour I need for that. I've already got the base washed down, as you can see, which is probably near enough, and there's a photograph of the tail area there. So I've got to think, well, what colour can I use, or colours, plural, can I use to match that? How am I going to get something so similar? So I've got to look at the colours with my colour cards, which are these here, look. I've got a little video on this as well, so I'll pop a card to the top right hand corner for you on how to make these little testing cards, okay? Now it's not anything like that, is it? Saying that though, there might be a little bit of either Gambo Hue or Lemon Yellow within there. Any of the other ones? No. None of those actually work, do they? So, what else have we got to look at? There we go. Turn the right way around, Paul. So we've got these colours as well. So I'm looking more towards probably a mixture of something like, let's have a look. Maybe those three colours there. What do you think? Or maybe a little bit of Purple Lake within the mix between those two reds. Maybe that's a possibility. I might try that mix first and see how that goes. What do you think? Yeah, let's try that. So those three colours first of all. So we're going to go for a small amount of alizarin crimson. Okay, not too much though. Just that one there. Oh, that's rich. That's very rich. Then I'm going to go for, what was it? Scarlet Lake was the other one, wasn't it? Which is that one. A small amount. Cool, that's changed it, hasn't it? It really has. I might go a little bit more alizarin crimson in there. Like that. And now I did say we might try a little bit of that Purple Lake as well, which is this one down in the bottom corner. So a small amount of that. What's that going to look like? Okay, maybe that's a possibility. Let's just try that on some scrap watercolour paper first of all and see what that's like. Now, if I just put that down there you go, is that better? You can see that this one, this is my old mixing brush by the way, a very, very old one as you can tell, which I used solely for mixing paints with. That's a little bit too much on the red side, isn't it, really? So I need to kind of change that more towards a yellowy, orangey side. So I can try a little bit of lemon yellow in there, just on one side maybe. Now when you go to your lemon yellow, which is this one here by my finger, which is hardly anything in there, just make sure that your brush is nice and clean before you go into it, because you're going to end up tainting that colour, that yellow, with something else. See, that's looking much better. Just there, look. A little bit of lemon yellow. And this colour will do for the first layer of detail. And then what I will do thereafter is start increasing the pigment within the mix. So really thickening that mix up a little bit using the same mixes which we've just used between the alizarin crimson, scarlet lake and lemon yellow. Okay, and build that up as you go along with every single layer, and every layer that you add will obviously get richer in tone and darker as well. Okay, bit of yellow there, look. And we can see that from there going down from the top of the tail, the kind of colours which I'll need for my next stage on this lovely looking bird. And also we're going to need a very similar colour for parts of the wing. Let's look at that now. Now I'm looking at the back area around here, and I can just see when you pinch into that reference photograph, you can see all these little fine lines, can't you? Some of those lines are green, some of those lines are actually a little bit orange as well. And that's because obviously the yellow or the greeny yellow is kind of adding to the red underneath, isn't it? So we got that kind of showing through. So I want to replicate that. Okay, so Scarlet Lake, as we know. What's next? Any ideas? Oh yeah, cadmium orange. Do you want to get in there as well? A little bit of brightness added to that. Look at that. Let's change it a little bit, hasn't it? The cadmium orange, really nice. And I'm going to go for a little bit of purple lake in there as well. We won't put the alizarin crimson in this. Okay, so that's still to red. So that's the same colour we've got there, just about. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit more, put that there a minute, of the cadmium orange, which is this one, that, and rich it down a bit. So really, really bright. And that to me, when you pinch into that photograph, you see what I mean? So you can really see the colour in between those little lines in that yellow back. And I can just about make out something similar to this, which is that. Okay, so we'll use that initially for some of the very fine lines within that back. And this is more to a milky consistency, I would say. And that is it. So load it, roll it, tap it. You know that. I'm going to start to add in just the very fine lines. You don't need too many in there. Look at the direction these go as well. You can see they're kind of going down towards about 4 o'clock, something like that. Let's carry on. Start adding some little fine lines in here. Don't add too many, because this is a little bit bright, this colour. And it's not that bright a colour on the back, is it? Just a little bit here and there. It's just going to add that slight variation towards colours as well. And it can help it gel together. So when you've got this kind of red area on the tail area, on the base of the tail, coming through to this yellow back, then you're going to get that nice transition, aren't you, between obviously red and yellow, having the orange in between. And for the purple area, we can go for our blue colour. Now if you remember, that was French Ultramarine and Purple Lake, which is this one here. And we'll add in a little bit of our red, just to that corner. I think we've obviously done that before, haven't we? Just into there. That's not too far off. I'll just test that a minute. So that's what we've got for that. Maybe a little bit more red. I'm going to go for a small amount of Scarlet Lake in there. What's that like? Bit too red? Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? So a bit more blue. We'll try that one. Bit more. So it's all about adjusting the colours as you go along. Bit of water in there now, look. And that's more for the purple, which is very similar to what we started with. That'll do. Okay, just water that down just a fraction as well. I don't want it too thick. So this is more, as I said, like a milky consistency. I'm going to use this just to add in some of the background areas. I have to water it a little bit more than that. Otherwise it's not going to run. Got that a minute. Stay. Which would be where the sections divide really between this kind of reddish pinky area in the middle. And it's kind of gradual division, isn't it, really, on the top part of this. Let's just draw that line very carefully, barely touching that paper again. There's a bit of blue hinted at the end, so I'm going to drop some cerulean blue in there very shortly. And just map everything out ready for going in with a darker colour in a bit. That's all we've got to do with that. Now the next challenge on this painted bunting is trying to work out the colours I need for the feet. Now the feet, as you can see in the reference photograph, excuse all the fingerprints by the way, when you look at this, are more like a, what would you say, like a purpley, bluey, reddy kind of colour, isn't it really? So you've got a little bit of probably alizarin crimson maybe, a little bit of cadmium red, I don't know. So we need to kind of work out the colours that I want to use for these legs. So how do I start that? So I'll just put that there just for a minute so you can just see that on camera just there, like, okay. Get a bit of scrap paper and a brush, and what I'm going to do is if I just put that there, I want to try out a little bit of, let's try Scarlet Lake first of all and see if this sort of matches. It's nowhere near, is it? But we know that red and blue make, what is it? Purple, of course they do. So let's just try a little bit of indigo in there as well. It's too much indigo. It's getting better. It's not there yet. We could, we could potentially use that colour within the mix, so we can kind of vary that mix as we go along. So a little bit more Scarlet Lake in there. Hold it down with the palette. See, that's not too bad. So that's Scarlet Lake and indigo, and that's very similar to the colour we've got within the legs. Maybe a touch more, just a touch more Scarlet Lake in there. Try on one side initially. Let's see what that looks like. Not too bad. So that's quite close. So that's one colour mix we could potentially use, or even use that alongside another one. Doesn't really matter, does it? As long as they're very similar. I can also see within the feet, around these areas here, a bit of hint of blue. So for that, I'll probably use a little bit of cerulean blue. Something like that there. But more of a sort of watery state. So just water that down. So we're looking at this sort of tonal value of that colour there. As for another mix of colour, I was thinking about another red. We could try Opera Rose. I don't know if that'll work. We'll try it anyway. So a little bit of Opera Rose in there. Well, that's bright, isn't it? It really is. And we'll try a different blue. Let's try Phthalo Blue, which is this one here. Or Intense Blue. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh, that's nowhere near, is it? A little more Opera Rose, and this is how I'd normally go ahead and test. That's a lovely violet colour, isn't it? Really nice. This is how I'd normally go ahead and test the colours which I need. Let's try one more mix, and we'll try something like, let's go for French Ultramarine. So that one there, just pop that in the corner there. So French Ultramarine, and maybe, I haven't got that many reds, have I? So I'm going to go for Alizarin Crimson. We'll try that one. Just something like that there. Go back here, you. That's better. Now that looks better, doesn't it? That looks more like it. So that's what I'm looking for, something like that, I think. So I may use a combination of the two mixes, which were, if you remember, Scarlet Lake and Indigo, and Alizarin Crimson with obviously French Ultramarine or Ultramarine Blue, depends on the manufacturer of the paints that you use. I quite like that one actually. Okay, so that's the kind of way I would normally look at mixing the colours of the legs, just by testing that out first before you go to the main painting, of course. So that gives some ideas on how I tend to test out for my paintings, how I tend to mix the colours, and just by using my little tester strips, again, link in the top right hand corner for you, and also plenty of scrap pieces of watercolour papers. Now if this is something that you do, please post a comment down below for me.